under attack. Dire's top tower is gone. Just a cold fog left behind.
Do it with flair.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower's got problems. Perhaps it's a bit reddish. Radiant team ban.
Going their way for AG's end. Ogre Magi plus Timbersaw. You've got two really tanky heroes to stand up front. You've got a great steroid now for a natural right click here. You still have the been left in, so you can kind of play around with those options here for DB. With an Ogre Magi, it's very nice. Yeah, they just go with Troll. Why not? Very stable with the Ogre. Very nice to have. Motivate Trust have a nice break source now, though, for the Timbersaw. And Viper is going to make it annoying for Tim. And even the Troll, right? He enrages up, he gets Viper Strike and Poison attacked up. After the rage is off, he's kind of stuck there and just kind of dies if he's too low. So you have to watch that now, as the response from Motivate Trust is pretty nice.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Mids says he's jumping out. Let's talk about crypto, more about how good Mobile Legends is. Oh. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Dire team ban. Radiant team's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick.
Yeah. And Ursa, they're probably looking for a support here. So looks like they might be expecting the Viper to actually go to that offlane for Masaros. We'll have to see as it goes on. Maybe they flex that puck here for support on MPG. And we've seen that a couple of times. No, they go to CM. So Masaros Viper looks like coming through here. That makes the lane for the troll actually really darn annoying. Like, you don't have the best presence there. The Viper's just going to be a constant nuisance. Viper plus Clockwork, you trap the troll up. You're going to be able to melt him through early on. You're going to have to put a lot of work here on the Ogre Magi to zone them out. You do have a really tanky body to do that. But the Viper does have a lot of damage, and as the auto attacks fly out, the poison attacks come through, you're not going to enjoy standing in front there for too long, the Ogre.
Choose your hero.
Hello, like. Yeah, it takes you back to your router right there, Mike. Just reminding you what's in your garage right now still. It's a really strong pick, as you mentioned. It's going to be putting a bit of a curveball there for Motivate Trust. They're going to have to deal with it in some way. And we're going to see if they've had enough. They do have some decent ways of clearing out the Broodlings as they fly out. Once the ult is up and running, you could, you know, just kind of AoE clear with a Crystal Maiden, with a Viper, and even Fearless can kind of handle that for you. So DB's going to have to be careful with his micro there. But you have a lot of early presence as well for DB, so they need to play around with that. It looks like Mamang Daya is on the troll, so that's looking like perhaps a troll mid unless they change around lanes here. But we'll see. It's going to be a really wild game number 3, which is what I love to see. AG and MTG have been really going back and forth in this series, and it's always good to see another wacky draft from both these guys and trying to close out here. Yeah, it's they've already put a dent in that perfect record, so it's already something to be really happy about for AG. In fact, you know, thinking about it, we kind of saw them do an upset as well in the OEDL, right? Like they managed to get that win as well, force a draw in the closed qualifiers. So AG's definitely up there in this specific matchup at the least, and we'll see if the follow-through here, again, pulling off a bit of a wild card with that last pick. just have to see how much DB can get done as we do get into the game, and it does look like DB will head to the safe lane. So we will have a mid troll from Mamang Daya. Mid troll up against Puck. That sounds manageable for a troll. You can play range, but feels like the Puck should have an edge up there. And see Motivate Trust smoking up, looking for an angle from the top jungle. That's some old school stuff there. Alpha Red Jackie. That is a long time ago now, it feels like.
Oh, geez, I remember that team as well. We used to cast them the qualifiers.
Yeah, and Pundok Gaming as well, right? PG Orca, PG Barrack X.
Oh, the good old days. The good old days indeed. Quick warning to the people in chat. I can't believe I have to say this at the end of the night, but please don't spam. Otherwise you will probably get banned, and we really don't want to ban people from the chat, so please don't spam. We do now have a mod watching, so please don't. Anyway, apart from that, Army Geniuses versus Motivate. Looks like Motivate is going to try and maybe make their way over to the triangle. They've got a nice observer ward on the cliff right now, so they do have vision of Wommy. Sneak their way up, and we'll see if they can get it done. Q, he'll be the front liner. Wommy going to try and back. Ross even moving in from the side, and they are going to have to give up the bounty. LYM, meanwhile, he won't be able to stick around for the other either. And it should still amount to a 2-for-2 trade anyway. Army Geniuses for the other. Still have Motivate Trust on their tail, and Masros might be able to get a bit of damage out with Q if they do manage to catch UK, but in fact, Masros now TPing to cut him off. UK, he'll run the other way. The Q gets the battery assault, and that might be it. UK, it's going to be extremely hard to get away from this. He will fire blast once, but he is definitely dead. Masros, very fire out, maybe not going to keep going. You would have loved to give the kill over to the Viper, but now Q's going to have to try and chase him down, and UK gets the fire blast off. He is going to be just fine, it seems like, as Q could not keep up. Masros, he walked back for a second, and it does cost them.
Yeah, that's a pretty big missed kill. Surprised Masros just didn't go for that last right click with the poison attack, and you missed out on that. You do burn a lot of resources on the Ogre, so UK is going to have to ferry more regen, burns the salve on himself, and that should be enough to kind of counteract it. But you've given out a free wave onto DB, so level 2 now on this Broodmother, and you know, Broodmother holds lane really well. You can farm up with your insatiable hunger, the webs start to pile on. It's looking like your router here, Mike. Look at that.
No baby spiders though yet, John, which is the big difference right now. My router does have many babies, many nests. Not a cruel human being either, John. I'm going to give them their space. Be fine. Top lane, Leona, or rather Leonak, going to get caught. Is going to go down. Wommy able to secure the first blood, and it is going to be rather difficult for Leonak. He's been playing Elder Titan pretty much every game we've seen him. It's been a while since we've seen the Crystal Maiden pop up, but if you do get caught by the Earth Spike or the Hex, you are going to drop very fast.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with the CM. Very soft in the laning phase. Jackie's still going to have some really decent farm here. Not much Wommy can really slow it down, but as the levels come on for LYM, it gets a bit tough. You get worried about the stun combos, and there's only so much Leonak can do here.
Yeah, look at Wommy. Very aggressive here on to Jackie, but will be forced to back as the Fury swipes are still a pretty big threat. We'll have a look at that mid lane as well, where you've got Fearless up against Mamang Daya, and it's another kind of weird mid lane matchup here for AG with the Troll, but I think the Troll should do much better than, say, the Jug up against the Puck, because you're able to secure CS better. You might even have a bit of kill potential at level 6 on this Puck, and for Fearless, I doubt he'll be able to kill him.
Yeah, it's a very stable lane for both sides, unless Mangaya out missteps just a bit, and you manage to get that burst damage here on Fearless. It should hold steady. The one issue here for the Troll versus Puck, kind of the same issue with a Jug. Like, Fearless has much better control of water runes as it comes out, so if he wants to, he can keep trying to just constantly jump the runes as they come out, maybe snag the opposing bounty rune here as well, and just keep playing with how much more efficient you are with the bottle. Like, Troll has the bottle up as well, so Mamang Daya can just spam his own spells. And he is going to go for a cheeky bounty trade, as he saw Fearless kind of going for that. But you are missing out on some farm. I think overall, you're not going to mind too much on either side, but again, it's just a very, very stable lane mid. We're just going to have to see Mamang Daya transition out of mid. That's the key thing. We saw him on the jug last time. He went Mask of Madness. This time around, should be maybe a Maelstrom build on the Troll, but he definitely can't afford to just sit back and farm. Not when the Broodmother is also going to be soaking out a full lane for herself.
Yeah, I mean, DB's still having a great time on this Brood. Masteros not able to slow him down too much. Mid lane still a bit of a fight over these water runes, but Mamang Daya has been able to secure him every single time. Meanwhile, bot lane UK is going to get caught this time around. Q does have the cogs up now, so you can actually lock down the Ogre. The thing is, though, as long as DB's not dying, I think Army Geniuses are going to be okay with that.
Yeah, there's not much worry. It's still free farm for the Brood. Just right behind the Ursa in terms of farm, but with way more denies under DB's belt. So you're slowing down the progress of Masteros, although up top.
Leonak taking a lot of damage, but they're trying to get the damage back out onto LYM. Still, Leonak really needs the back. Another chains out is going to be blocked by a tree. Be able to salve up on that Crystal Maiden. Oh, UK. Play around with the small cap, trying to get a pull off, but Q is going to be there to block the stack. Look at that CS board, John. I mean, even the Troll's having a great time. Like Mamang Daya, top of the CS board, only seconded by his Broodmother. Now Motivate can't really do much in the way of stopping this.
I think they're just going for even farm trade. All the cores are relatively close to each other, not a major advantage from either side. Going down, it's just 31 to 29. The only one lagging behind is really Wami, but that's kind of be expected from a Timbersaw. So you're kind of happy with the state of the game for both sides. None of them are taking too forward risks, although they do find Masteros at least.
That they do, and that's also a Viper, John. A Viper does tend to drop off a bit if you do fall behind, and at least for now, he's doing just fine in terms of farm. Even has the Falcon Blade already up on the Viper, but you're still going to be very cautious because the hero does tend to drop off a bit. Because the Nether Toxin break is always going to be nice, but you want a bit more than that. You don't want to be just a walking Nether Toxin the whole game.
Yeah, definitely not. You want to play with a potency with your clockwork here. Issue is you can't really lock in a Broodmother all too well, so you're going to have to always go for UK.
Well, they've got UK now, but DB immediately out onto Masteros. They're going to kill off the Ogre, but this Broodmother is just going to keep going. And eventually will be forced to back as Q got the job done with the Ogre. Another nice pickup for MTG. Still no answers for the Brood, though. He will just keep healing himself up with that insatiable hunger. I wonder what kind of itemization you see on DB after this Orb of Corrosion.
Yeah, it's really open for the Brood. Maybe an Orchid coming through just for more silence, more control, more aggression. You can see the movement here from AG, just checking out the jungle, looking for stacks once more. Fearless does manage to at least save it for now, but they still have this really nice cliff ward to watch the stack, so they can invade once more. We saw them do that in game 2 quite nicely, and that's going to be key in slowing down some of the flash farm coming out, especially for Jackie. You take away those stacks, the Ursa, suddenly even with a fast Battle Fury, doesn't feel like he has that burst farm on hand.
DB for a bit of a chase there onto Q, but won't bother. We'll just go back to farming. Leonak is around now on the Crystal Maiden. Might try to make a play here onto DB as Q. Gonna get caught out though. DB gonna make the jump in, but Leonak is gonna make his presence known. They want to try and go onto UK, but it looks like the Ogre is gonna be able to get out of there. And you even saw Fearless trying to make his way down to help the team out, but he couldn't quite get there in time, and that's quite a bad sign. When you've got 3 heroes down against 2, you can't get the position 5 kill. And your mid lane is even rushing down to try and help out.
Yeah, it's just bad news overall, though. They do line up for Mamang Daya.
There's your battle trance out. Even Masteros going to come in now with the Viper trying to go onto the Troll, and they have so many heroes coming in. Clockwork going to get stunned up, but they found the Troll. Q, he's going to be just fine to back out. It took them a bit, but it's definitely worth the Troll kill.
Yeah, they keep down Mamangai. He was just free farming a bit too well. Managed to get the punishment off. I think the key thing for Motivate Trust while all of this movement happens is that Jackie is not under any threat at all. Solo lane against Wami is holding even, still top in terms of net worth and CS. Not by much, but this does mean a very stable build-up into the Battle Fury. Only one part off here for Jackie. He did skip his boots upgrade, but you're feeling really good about this. You're just lacking about 1,000 gold, and once you have that, Jackie's just set to flash farm as much as he wants here.
Jackie going to be chased down now by Wami. Gonna try and make a run. Wami does have quite a bit of damage output here onto Jackie. Fearless gonna rotate with Leonak. They might be able to turn, but Jackie, he does not want to risk it. Wami looking a bit too tanky on this timber right now, and I suppose maybe they could turn now with the high ground advantage. In fact, they found LYM on the Lion. LYM can't get Q in time, it seems, and will drop. Q will be okay to back. Of course, Wami on the timber, probably not going to be too happy about that.
No, he doesn't manage to line up for the kill. He doesn't die at the least, but it feels a bit unnecessary to have the lock in that position. So it's a freebie for MTG coming through. They will line up once more for Jackie though, and he is alone now.
That he is, but can you kill him? You need somebody to get in there to just stun him up immediately, and that's just not the case right now. Suppose you could just keep accepting the fact that the DB is farming on the Brood and the Smamang Dai is back to farming on the Troll, but your concern is that Jack is going to have that Battle Fury up soon. And he is going for that Battle Fury rush over going for the Treads first. So playing much greedier on the Ursa, but if you can get away with this, it does feel quite impactful.
Definitely does, and it should open up the Roche opportunity as well. Once you have that Battle Fury up, the damage is going to be nice enough to go for that. And again, there's just no rotations coming through from AG. They've got a passive mid here, and Mamangai is just farming up as well. So basically, all three lanes are just farming. Even DB, now you could say DB's having a great time. The Ags is going to come out timely for the Brood Mutter. But everyone else on Motivate Trust is ready to move around the map here.
They are coil out Fearless. Q going to come in now onto Wami. They'd love to get the Timber Sword down. Wami taking a lot of damage with the Viper Strike out, and it should be enough. Without that Timber, oh, what a hook shot, Q! Just a completely blind hook shot out onto LYM. Maybe he had vision from the rocket flare, but a great hook shot nonetheless. Leonak will be the one to take the kill on the Crystal Maiden, and again for Army Geniuses, well actually, never mind.
What?
Jackie gets taken out solo by DB.
I just don't understand why Jackie would show at bot. Like, everyone left, the tier 1 fell. If he wanted, he could have played in the triangle, but to show in the lane itself is just, without backup, super risky for the Ursa. He still had a top jungle to farm in. In that case, the kills coming out from MTG just don't feel very worthwhile. Like, you give out your Ursa, he loses his net worth lead. It's looking a bit better for AG. DB now is playing around with the Spiderlings, so it's definitely looking like a router out here. And the bot lane's just completely infested. Like, they can't stop DB at this point. He's just too big. Once the Ags is up, even more of the map is going to be denied off. The side of MTG need to be very cautious with where they put Jackie to farm up here.
But they do. UK and LYM now going to smoke up on Army Genius's end of things and move into that dire jungle. The only target they're going to have around is Masaros. In fact, never mind. Q's going to show up now on the Clockwork, but they've already jumped in on the Viper. You've got Wami there with the Whirling Death, but Fearless is going to show up on with the Dream Call out. They might just have enough to burst down both supports, while Masaros, he is just not dying. The Chakram not going to be enough. UK trying to get the damage out, but they just melt. Masaros, he tries for the TP back to the fountain. It will not work, and he will eventually die, but it's at a great cost for Army Geniuses.
Definitely is. The one thing I think they're trying to do here is they're playing 3 Protect 2, because they've got a Troll and a Brood Mother farming up, so it's 3 heroes buying space for 2. In that sense, it's kind of working out. Like, the 3 heroes die, but DB, again, is free farming. Mamangai is playing catch-up on the Troll. Maelstrom is almost done, and at that point, the Troll can really start to dish some damage through. Side of MTG, well, they've got the Battle Fury on Jackie. It's a bit more comfy standing in front, clearing out the creep waves. You could cleave through the Spiderlings as well if you're not careful. I think we need to see something defensive for Jackie Rush. Maybe a BKB after the power treads, just to ensure he's not going to be kited around by that Silken Bola, by the stuns and the hexes coming through from AG's draft, and just have that forward presence. If you get that timing for Jackie, this early spike from Army Geniuses might not feel as great. They still need to play quick. Like, you have a Brood, it can come into late game, but your strength is still in that early to mid, so you have to get a little bit more done here on DB, and once the Axe is up, he needs to look at invading other lanes and forcing more towers out.
Yeah, gonna be targeted. Cogs push back is gonna be there, and now the coil's out from Fearless. Leonak gonna move in to lock down the Ogre. Here comes Masros as well on the Viper. They just want Wommy dead on that Timber, and it looks like he is set to fall. Meanwhile, Mamangdaya does at least kill off Leonak, but it is not worth it, and now they will turn around on the Troll. Mamangdaya needs a way out of this. He does have the Battle Trance. That might be enough. The silence was not there in time by Fearless, but it won't matter. They have so much control. They will lose Q, but they get the Troll. And it's going to feel very worthwhile for Motivate Trust. As it's just two supports. You can't say no to that. The only problem is though, John, DB did get the bottom tier 2 tower at the bot lane.
And that's a good use of the space coming out for DB. Has managed to, again, kind of counteract that net worth swing by spreading out some more gold and also denying out a complete lane here. It's going to be tough for them to clear out. Leonak has to commit the freezing field just to kill some of those spiderlings, and they just go back into the webs anyway. So, man, you know, you can't even deal with spiders in Dota 2. You can't deal with them in real life. They're just in. Once they're in, they don't leave.
Nope.
In game as well. Even the cold doesn't stop them, Mike.
You can't, John. You just let them be. Just don't become their enemy and you'll be fine. Smoke is there from Army Geniuses. Wommy going to move in with LYM. We've also got UK around the Ogre. They're just going to go for the outpost for now. That is one of the big advantages of the Brood getting that tier 2 tower, is you're going to be able to soak so much more XP out of the outposts and deny so much away from Motivate Trust.
Radiant's middle tower could use some help.
You can just remain on the high ground, get some D wards out. Motivate, they're going to keep trying to go after this mid-tier 1 tower.
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this abuse.
I think they're still very confident to go for a fight against Army Geniuses if necessary. Mind you, we haven't seen a fight yet with DB on the Brood. They're going to go in with the Viper Strike. Onto UK, that'll be an easy Ogre death. No problem for Massaros. However, the top tier 2 tower is under siege, and DB they force Fearless to come back in and rotate, and now the buyback. They're going to try and start a fight. Massaros, he's been left behind. He will try to force staff away, but he needs to try and man up, and it looks like it is not going to work out for him. They will get at least the Viper. It does cost them an Ogre buyback. At least it's something.
It's pretty worthwhile killing off Massaros. They don't manage to save that mid-tier 1 though, so it doesn't feel as good. But kind of managed to make it work, and the side of Motivate Trust can't really do as much. You saw Fearless bail out early on to clear out the top tier 2, because DB switched that lane. The Axe is up on the Brood here, although...
Yeah, Fearless, that'll be a massive pick-off. They can get the puck, and they got the Hex out. Fearless gonna drop, Leonak gonna try with freezing field to fight back. Mamangdaya very low.
No.
Q, hook shot is gonna connect with his own creep wave. Very unfortunate there, as they probably would have gotten Mamangdaya and the Troll had that hook landed, but it just wasn't the case.
Yeah, and it's just a bit awkward now for Motivate Trust. They lose their mid tower in exchange, so they don't really have a map advantage, especially since they lost their bot lane completely. DB freely working the top lane, got 1,000 in the bank, already has the Ogre Axe up, could be the Sanch or BKB, not quite showing it yet, just flying more clarities. So you're open in itemization here for the Brood. You don't have a major net worth advantage though on the hero, but you've got those leveled spikes, you've got all the presence in the world, and it's very hard for Motivate Trust to hold you down. They are making a swing up top though.
Fearless, Hex, not going to be there in time, but the Earth Spike, it does land into the finger. Just on the edge there for LYM, but a great start to this fight, as Q now is going to try and hook shot in after Mamangdaya, but they don't get the cogs to hold down the Troll. LYM, he may die for this, but it's well worth his life. He'll try for the TP out. He is going to make it. Oh, Motivate Trust, they get nothing. Absolutely nothing for their trouble.
Yeah, and it's all coming down to the fact that Fearless is always so far forward very early on. He's not expecting that line. There's a lot of burst, a lot of control just from that one hero for the puck, and that's why you see a lot of lines into puck. It's a great counter pick overall. You're going to need to be much more cautious in stalling out for your team. They aren't too far behind here. MTG just bounces to a less than 1k lead for AG, so it's still a really even game in that sense. 9-12, but the map control is just really scary. AG can be all over the place. DB has still not died, has been not contested, and the BKB is almost up for this Brood, so no matter what way you're looking to hold her down, it's not going to be enough while that BKB lasts long.
Onto that top tier 2 again they go. Army Geniuses, they are making this work so far. It's a 9-12 with a 1k advantage for Motivate Trust, but in terms of objectives, they are well and truly ahead. Motivate.
Beating on Dire's top tower.
To move in.
Dire's top
No, they're going to go through the mid lane now. So not actually looking for the fight. They're going to try and force pressure in this mid lane and force them back to defend, but no, they're sticking around. It's not going to be that hard to get the tier 2 top tower. They've got it.
Yeah, just really easy. You've got the Troll who can stand in front, the fervor stacks just build up, and there's not much MTG can do. They be cautious, only one outer tower left. Top jungle now just completely covered in webs as well. And that just gives so much easy free Roche access for AG once they start eyeing that objective. Again, a BKB for DB is going to come out soon. You will have a BKB up for Jackie soon as well. In fact, it should be flying in, so Jackie might be ready to go with Blink BKB on hand on the Ursa. Just need to find a good target. Like, if you want to squash DB down, you have to be ready with some really good chain stuns. Otherwise, this Broodmother, BKB flying through as well, is not going to be an easy target to push down, and you kind of miss that early time when a Brood just feels much more manageable. At this point, it's that major spike for the Brood, and they just have to be picking off everyone else in backline. You do see the smoke here from MTG. They've got the hook ready.
Now they're going to try for the
just look for
Roshan.
LYM.
They'll try for the Roshan first, and I think they're just going to try and sneak this away and slow the momentum down of Army Geniuses. Army Genius is not quite aware yet, but they are making their way over, and now with the webs in, they'll know. But hook shot out from Q and freezing field from Leonak, trying to hold back the spider. Jackie, he's got the Aegis. They're just going to try and run away, as it looks like their Clockwork and Fearless are going to sacrifice themselves. They'll lose 3 for that. But they did get the Aegis. Now the only question is, will they be able to hold on to it? Because DB is chasing Jackie. He will give up on it. He won't go all the way. They'll leave the Ursa be. They still maintain control over this map, though. And really the only negative thing for Army Geniuses thus far in this game has been the fact that they've lost the Roshan.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to mind that too much. Again, we're just seeing the weaknesses of the puck here. Like, Fearless gets fingered up, the damage still flies through from LYM, tries to dodge out, but the cut through was there from Wami. It just kind of lines up in the end. Jackie, with the Aegis, I don't know if you really have openings to be aggressive here. Like, the positioning of AG is just super safe. They play as 4, play as 5 for the most part. If they are split up, it's just DB farming alone, and he's very well protected with a BKB on the Broodmother. So even if you catch Brood alone, it doesn't feel like it's the best target until a Basher is up in Jackie. That is coming in. It's just still a ways off, still about 900 gold away. You have to wait for that to be farmed up first, and you finally see AG start to take that farm lead. Up now at 2k. You've got the Heaven's Halberd on Wami. So even if you stand in front there, Jackie has to be preemptive with the BKB. Otherwise, he gets disarmed in the middle of a fight. It's not going to feel good for the Ursa.
No, it is not. UK. Back off. Q. Have that hook shot. Doesn't necessarily want to go onto the Ogre first, though. You need a much better target than that, I think. And Q, yeah, he's going to break the smoke. Goes for the Fire Blast. We'll just lock them down, and they're going to have to accept what they get. UK, he's going to try and KP out. He does not get out of this. Q is going to hook shot and get the kill. But it is going to mean the rest of Army Geniuses are going to be just free to leave. And again, MTG, they definitely wanted more than that.
Yeah, it's not quite enough. Like, their rotations just aren't lining up for these big pickoffs. And they can't handle DB. Just, again, constantly up top, a million sentries on hand here from Motivate Trust, but no vision. They can't really see in the area and make use of that. AG, they're still buying out really good space here from Mamangdaya. SNY up. BKB of his own coming out next. You do have the Basher finally finished on Jackie, so you can focus in on the Brood if he wants to, and he's rushing into the Monkey King bar, into the Ag Shard as well. Gonna have that Earth Shock and Rage buff, which is always nice. It'll help you kind of ride through the Heaven's Halberd if you don't get the BKB preemptively, but you really need to line your initiation up here. They're going for the tier 2. Should be able to find it, but their tier 3 is going to be under pressure for a bit.
That it will. A lot of spiders flying in now onto that tier 3 tower. Fearless is going to try and just take them out, and does. You've got that phase shift attack, and it's not going to be too hard to get the spiders with that. Army Geniuses, whether they like it or not, they're going to have to commit as a team to go high ground. And I think that's where the problems may start to begin here for Army Geniuses. Jackie is slowly but surely getting bigger and bigger. Mind you, Mamangdaya is doing the exact same thing on the Troll. He is quite big himself. He's not quite as farmed as Jackie. Still a very even game. Like, you look at that net worth graph, and right now it's actually less than 1k, so it just hasn't updated all the way. It's been a very even game throughout this whole game number 3, and just feels like it can go anyone's way.
Oh, Hook.
Gonna be onto the Lion. They'll get LYM. The Lion dead. They may feel confident to try and make some form of play happen. So they will get started on that mid-tier 2 tower now. Nobody going to be pushing out that top lane, so they won't have to worry about the split push. And Fearless can always come in with the boots of travel.
Yeah, but look mid. DB cuts the wave. They don't have a follow-up wave. They can't really get the push going, and all of a sudden AG are the ones on the offensive. Running up, they can easily pincer with DB here as well if they find a good angle, and they do smoke up.
That they do. Exactly where MTG's gone as well. A very prime kind of opportunity now for Army Geniuses. Leans forward, they found Masaros on the Viper. That's how they'll get started. Masaros, they're going to force staff away. Gets the Nether Toxin down. A nice cons by Q as well to block the way. And now they'll turn on the Timber. That'll be one we got already. Mamangdaya is going to try and back. The Aegis does expire, mind you, so this could be dangerous for Jackie. As now they'll go back into Masaros. Battle Trance there, even through the coil. They'll get Q dead. Fearless needs to back off, and Masaros, he will go down. But Jackie is back in, and he'll clean up Mamangdaya. Gets UK as well. On the Ursa DB, he'll be able to BKB TP out just fine. It's a bit of a prolonged team fight, but MTG, they do manage to come out on top.
Yeah, you can see the damage output here of Jackie just overwhelming the side of AG. Like, this build on our Troll, on Mamangdaya, Maelstrom, and SNY is nice, but he's not going to be cleaving the same way Jackie will. So if you clump up in a tight spot like that, Jackie will punish you. He's got the Basher up. Next time DB shows up, and you saw him prioritize just TPing and BKB TPing home because he knows he can't stand and fight against that. Has to be a bit cautious with his positioning. If he gets caught out, if he dies even once, it feels like the Broodmother can start to collapse in on itself there, and just have to be really cautious. They haven't made headway in the high ground from AG. I think that's where it gets dicey. We're at 27 minutes in. They cleared out the map so quick, but they couldn't find the main objective. They couldn't make a headway into that Ancient, and the Broodmother does feel very sensitive in its timings despite the tweaks to here. It still feels relatively early to mid. And Leonak?
Oh, Leonak. He's going to split out DB, but they get the rocket flare off. They aren't going to make the chase, however. TG just going to back off. It's like Fearless might have the Aghanim Scepter up very soon, and maybe just wait that out on the puck before you go any further. It does feel like that next Roshan is going to be extremely important for either side, and I'd say even more important for AG though. You saw Jackie, even without using that Aegis, was able to clean up the Radiant side. You give him another Aegis plus a Shards upgrade, there's going to be problems.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's going to be really potent coming through if they're allowed to get that. The AoE and the Silken Bowl is just so annoying. And you will have the MKB for Jackie, so it's only the slow that's going to be in math. massive issue, but it's still going to be annoying for the Ursa nonetheless. And it's on edge for Jackie. Like, he has to be very careful with when he pops his BKB as well. It just complicates matters when DB gets that additional presence with the Ag Shard. Next Roche, we're going to find in about half a minute when the respawn is. So far, MTG, though, 3K lead up in their end. They're the ones playing against the Broodmother. So they're going to be feeling great about the state of game right now. There's a smoke out from AG, but there's no one in that top jungle anymore. They've learned their lesson. They're just playing bot to get that safe farm up.
Yeah. Wami needs to be careful. They see the flamethrower in the mid lane. DB seems very confident in split pushing, but we haven't seen much of him in a team fight recently. Seems to struggle quite a bit in that aspect. Even with the BKB up. I mean, Geniuses may just want to kind of rotate to Mamang Daya being that main kind of position 1 now. Meanwhile, Jackie, he does have that big MKB up. Do get a little bit more concerning now as the Ursula just going to hit that much harder, and he's not going to miss either. Sean, still got a minute and a half to go. So AG, they're going to start the pressure at that top lane. Motivate, they'll stick around the river for now. There's your smoke up. They're going to try for something.
We're walking in the wrong direction here. No one's playing in the triangle. Looks like both sides haven't figured out that they're just playing the opposite ends of the map right now. They could wrap around. You could look for a nice hook angle here if he wants to.
Wami would be a nice way to start. He doesn't really feel that tanky if you catch him without the reactive armor stacks. Among Daya, not going to be spotted. Jackie, he's going to run to the Roshan pit, and Wami will just chain out. DB will start moving his way in now on the Brood. Both teams going to be very desperate for this next Roshan. It's like Motivate, they're going to apply the mid lane pressure instead. They'll try to force Army Geniuses back this way.
Yep. Just get that pressure on the mid lane, force someone to come back in, break off the eventual team fight in the pit. You've got good progression here as well now for Masaros. BKB's up and running on our Viper. So it's not going to be as scary for Masaros if he's caught out. He can stand in the middle, get his own damage off, use all his spells. You've also got the Ags riding here on Fearless. So the Dream Coil Ags upgrade is there. And they are keeping eyes on the Roche. Respawn is in about 5 seconds. So it's going to be a big one for both sides. Both sides will have to commit for that fight.
Oh, Jackie, he's onto DB. He's going to try and get himself out through the webs. There's your Roshan now. DB will scout. How is he allowed to be in that spot? Never mind that, because it looks like Mamang Daya is going to pop a battle trance. Hook's not in. Q is in with a great cox out. He's caught 2 of them. Mamang Daya is going to pop the BKB. He will kill Q, but he is stuck with a very angry bear right now. Jackie, he will get the kill to the troll. DB dies as well. They try to fight this one out. Wami, he is going to drop the bird. LYM is going to try for the TP, but Jackie has the damage. An ultra kill out for the Ursa. One more for a rampage. You know the man wants it. Here he comes. There you go. There's a rampage. Jackie gets it. A nice rampage. Fearless with the tip as well. And MTG, did you excuse me, did you happen to see what happened with the troll, John? Why did he battle trance?
Fearless jumped right onto him. The bigger issue there, I don't think the battle trance was it. The big issue was DB popped BKB but broke the Ags upgrade Dream Coil. He did not notice the Dream Coil was upgraded. He was stuck in the middle and he just got bashed through from Jackie. So that's the downfall right there. They just didn't check the items. They had enough time and they just underestimate the farm. And now they lose a tier 3. Lane's going to shove in a bit. There's a double damage here for Motivate Trust to go into the Roche pit. Beautiful timing as usual. They don't spot it out, but they'll eventually. And this is going to be big. Ag Shard to be given out. I wonder who they give it to. In this case, Jackie already has his. Maybe Masaros or Fearless. Could be nice. Heck, even the CM? Actually, the CM is probably the best, in my opinion. But yeah, it looks like they actually view past it. Leonek has the Ag Shard, so he can actually blink in, cast the Freezing Field first, blink in, get his damage control off. That is going to be really annoying. Aw, shame. He hands it back.
Yeah.
But Masaros handed it to Leonek. You just take it. You don't ask questions, Leonek. If a core gives you an item, you just say yes, please. You know?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Bottom lane, Fearless in with the Dream Coil, and that's Wami gone. And now with the 16k net worth advantage, things looks very difficult for Army Geniuses. Very difficult indeed. Even the Viper, John, with that shards up, he can actually get the poison attack on the buildings. So you have even more damage output for these objectives now for Masaros.
Oh yeah.
You start to ask the question, what do Army Geniuses do? The Brood's not doing anywhere near enough, and neither is the Troll.
That's the big issue. They went with a really greedy draft. The Brood alone's fine, but they also went Troll, which adds a bit of a curveball, but Mamangdai just doesn't have enough to be super impactful just yet. And Jackie's just able to really be that bigger core. 26k net worth, a good 8k above everyone else next to him. Take down the tier 3 bot, and yeah.
Look at Masaros. He's doing damage to the towers, but because he has a Grove Bow as well, he's amplifying the magic damage on the objectives.
Oh my god, that is disgusting.
Look at that. You love to see it.
Negative 35% resist in the building.
Yes.
Negative 46. That is
What do you do, John? Just good stuff to see. Viper shards, it's a thing. MTG
Oh, yeah.
now, 2 racks is up, 19k net worth lead, and I mean, Army Geniuses, John, they still have the great split push with DB, but that's about all they've got. They're going to try and smoke up, but this could be the last-ditch team fight. If this doesn't work out... Oh, Jackie's already broken the smoke. Wami's going to chain in, but they are ready for a Jackie right at the back lines. UK not going to drop yet. No, he does. Q does manage to get him. Still Jackie dropping quite low. Will lose the Aegis. That is one life. The hook shot in from Q, gonna stun them up. Jackie has to turn around and try to fight this one out. There's your coil, there's your enrage. He is trying, but they are attacking very, very fast. Jackie gonna turn back around now, getting DB onto Wami. He is not that tanky anymore. The Timber will drop. Mamangdaya, he's gonna try, but he will drop as well. And there's your GG call. They have had enough. Motivate Trust. They do lose one game. They lose their undefeated streak in terms of single games. But in terms of series, they are still undefeated.
Yep, they managed to keep that streak up. AG putting up a really good fight throughout the series, taking one game. The success here for Motivate Trust, just the fact that you play so much more and know so much more than other teams.
I think we've been like